welcome back to Midnight Grappler Animals, home of Flub Nation. We are returning, as was promised, to Al Ewing's cosmology of the Marvel Universe. This week, we're covering some ephemera, some more. How did Ewing?
Here's how I describe this week's selection.
Okay. How did you describe it?
There's a picture I've been seeing online. It's like a bowl of just heterogeneous something. And the caption on the picture is, "I just made some bullshit." That's what the selection of comics that we're going to be discussing today is like.
I have a description. Can I get in on this?
You do. You come in. Get in here. Get in the soup.
I can't top Lands, but my description is Vertigo Comics presents Marvel Comics.
Yeah. That's a good one too. That's fair. Those voices you heard, are there those mysterious strangers? Those are my co-hosts, Lan and Salt, so rudely interrupting the introduction to this beautiful podcast, just adding their chaos to the mix. And today, we're talking about all the things Ewing wrote that weren't his main runs, kind of. So
really, this is us pathologizing Keigen's decision to read each of these comics, because I don't know. With each one, I could see why you chose it, but I also don't understand why you chose it.
Yeah.
We've really switched roles from last week, where like Lan was more up on the Loki stuff and I was more down on it.
I mean, I'm still like, oh man, I got my reasons for this episode.
Yeah, I mean, you're so grumpy about this, Lan.
I am because I've already seen this episode play out in my head. I already know how this is gonna go. Is the issue.
You're a lunatic, dog. I already screenshotted my favorite two responses because you've been so angry about this all week. Just like ready to fight about this, but these were my favorites from Lan, putting them in our chat. Oh, there we go. One is, I should honestly kill you for making us read this for this episode. And for what? Yep. And then the other is Keifu. I guess it's Keifu. I don't know. Art be hitting like crack, which is really the two wolves that are inside you at any given moment. Just, I hate you for making me read a thing. And also, actually, this looks cool, but whatever.
I mean, that's a good descriptor for this episode. Art on crack.
Yeah. So, just to tell you, dear listener, what we are listening to, or what we're talking about today, we are talking about Ewing and Javier Rodriguez's two 5-issue Defenders minis that they did about each, 2022, 2023.
Before that, 2021 and 2022.
Okay, 2021 and 2022. We're doing 2 issues of Venom that are kind of a little interlude. Those are 17 and 18 with art by the previously mentioned Kafu or Keifu. I can't remember. I've never heard it pronounced. Also, it's just a word. I don't think it's an actual name. And then we're rounding it off with Resurrection of Magneto by the inimitable I always forget. Is it Luciano? Luciano Vecchio.
People always do this with Italian names.
You know what? I have some Italian shit to talk when we get there. So.
Is John in class today? Is Bill in class today? Is Giuseppe in class today?
He deserves it. Why does he got that name? Why he showing up to class with that name? Go home.
My ancestors you're talking about.
Good.
I mean, he could just anglicize it like a normal person, you know? You can just go by Joseph. The other 2 guys went by normal names.
Yeah.
Was it Bill? That's just Guillaume, right?
Billingham.
Also, anyway. Cafu stands for, it's his full name is Carlos Alberto Fernandez Urbano.
Oh, that's fun.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
All right. A lot of Latin greatness in this episode.
What's the Mexican guy? Starts with M.
I don't know what you're talking
It's
about.
a politician with
Mexican
AMLO.
politician.
AMLO. I'm thinking about AMLO.
Does not start with an M.
Well,
But
it's kind of an M sound.
you know,
You know what?
Andre Manuel Lopez Obrador, you know, former president of Mexico, AMLO.
Okay.
Yes. I see what you're doing.
Yeah, similar situation. One makes art and one makes
We don't have to get
saying
into
no
that.
to saying no to corruption, violence, and Trump's wall. So there we go.
Okay. Thank you for that, Lan.
No problem.
Let's get into it. We're gonna talk today, and we're gonna find out if Ewing is washed.
Oh, wow. Okay. Good one.
Thank you. So, first up is this first Defenders run. As Lan mentioned, it's ran in 2021. It is drawn by the incredible Javier Rodriguez, one of my favorite artists, I think, of the last, I don't know, probably definitely the last 5 years. I'll say the last 5 years. It just absolute top of the pile. If his name's on the book, I'm almost certainly buying it. I bought multiple, at least one issue. I've purchased multiple anthologies just because he drew something in them. Easily top 5 artists who can actually make a thing good. This run I've read a bunch of times. This is probably the 4th or 5th time I've read this book. I read it as it was coming out. I read it as a trade. I read it for AIPT. And then this time and maybe one other time. I don't know. So I like this run a lot. What are your guys' reactions to this run? How do you like it? Let's go Salt first.
Do we want to summarize it at all?
Sure.
How do you summarize it? Yeah, people get together. They go on a journey into mystery.
I think, this one has less of a clear philosophical grounding than Beyond. Beyond is a little bit easier because it is what if the Marvel universe is Kabbalah, like if the Marvel cosmology fits into that. This one is more about Ewing figuring out his own 8 universes theory that he introduced in another run. That's another thing. This book is in a lot of ways attached to everything Ewing had written previously. So,
but also it's very like Marvel in the Marvel sense. Like this is a book about Marvel.
Yes.
On a larger cosmological sense.
Yeah. And I mean, it goes through, I guess this is a journey of the Defenders as gathered by Stephen Strange and his magical tarot deck through the lower dimensions of the Marvel cosmos would be the one sentence summary.
All right. With that out of the way, I'm ready to give my thoughts.
Beautiful.
All right. My first note, I said, a terrible menace threatens all of space-time. Stephen Strange says, we have no time to gather a proper team via normal methods. Strange then transmutes his teapot into a vessel for superhero summoning tarot cards. This comic fucks.
Yeah.
And there are places where I will bring the hammer down on Ewing, but a page like this is really where he knows how to make the plot and the art work synchronously. With a page like that too, like it made it abundantly clear that this passed the normie test. And I don't mean that dismissively. I mean, like, I like that I can pass this to a normie. I can pass this to someone who isn't caught up in comics. They'll get.
You can pass it to yourself. Is what you're saying.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for reading between the lines.
No, I like that point. I was thinking about that a lot, especially because I think reading this and Beyond back to back, this Ewing is, people love to compare him to Morrison, and I absolutely understand the comparisons. It's not even like surface level. He clearly really likes Morrison's work and modeled a lot of his creative, like just his everything he does. He models it partly on Morrison, and so that's true. But this feels like this feels like Ewing's Multiversity. These two trades back to back. Actually, everything kind of here, where he's pulling on these threads that he's set up in a bunch of different places, but it's approachable to basically anybody. Salt, you don't care. I don't think.
That's right.
But like this links to another. This whole reading links to a lot more than just Agent of Asgard. As much as I do think all of this stuff is a clear springboard off of stuff that Ewing was doing in Agent of Asgard, including using Loki directly and beyond. But like his Ultimate stuff, not related to the Ultimate Universe, by the way, but his Ultimates run is extremely tied to this. This is this run, even though it doesn't feature.
So why didn't you make us read that?
Because it was long. It's the actual reason is it doesn't relate to Thor at all. Is the reason.
And so
also there's another reason too. Okay. Chill out. Okay, somebody calm down. Go and breathe.
I'm just saying we could have taken the extra week to read Ultimates.
I didn't want to. So this is a separate reading to a different Ewing reading I had done where I included Ultimates, and Ultimates matters to this book, but I don't think it matters to Thor. So if we were going to do a Thor reading, Ultimates didn't matter.
Keigen, I came in a little bit. I'm not going to come at you like Lan, all right? But I'm gonna be straight up with you. I did come in a little bit confused to this episode. I am now so much more confused about how all of it fits together.
I mean, I've read half of Thor and I still can't see how... Like, this feels like, for this one specifically, the first Defenders one, it feels like we're reading this because we need to read the second one, and we can't really read the second one. Right, that's sure.
No, that's not right. Yeah.
In the context of both of these books, I don't, or at least from what I've read so far, I can't see how they play into Immortal Thor. In terms of like necessary readings.
Yeah. No, again, I called this ephemera, and that's also why Ultimates, like, I'll read 5 issues of Defenders Volume 1 to read Beyond, to read Immortal Thor. That makes sense to me. I'm not going to do Ultimates.
Like, I'm fine with reading these two because these are really good. Like, they're respectively two of the best books of the years that they came out. But again, in the context of the through line here, that's where I'm just like,
No. I get you. The other part of it is, and I think this first volume is actually the place to kind of talk about this, is that I think Ewing has a very like actual structured idea of what Marvel cosmology and magic looks like, right? And I think it's consistent. And part of that is because it's all built on the Kabbalah. Like that's why he's been doing that for some time, right? All the way. You could argue if we're talking about the Kabbalah, we should be reading Immortal Hulk as well for this.
Well, no, we should be reading the Torah.
Or the Moon and Serpents Bumper Book of Magic.
Yeah, there we go.
Like any of these. But and that's, I am interested in the connection of the Kabbalah to Immortal Thor. And that's why I'm like, I can tack on 9 issues or 11 issues of these things that clearly all connect to Beyond, philosophically, symbolically, rather than the plot shit from Ultimates tacking that on, if that makes sense. Because it's like, right, Lifebringer Galactus.
Is that a worthy defense?
I mean, sure, I guess, but the Kabbalah element is the one where I'm still not.
I mean, the Kabbalah links all of these books that we read today.
Yeah, but some much more tangentially than the others, right? Like with the 2 Venom issues that we're reading.
The Venom's about the Cliffot. Like, it literally says it. That's the best.
Yeah.
That's the underneath of the
I want to dig deeper here. Keigen, have you, like, outside of these comics, I mean, have you done your own or independent research into the Kabbalah?
Yeah, this is a good introduction. And part of that is because a good chunk of the Bumper Book of Magic is talking about at least one magical interpretation of the Kabbalah. And so
Right, this
That's
is what
also
I want to
why-
hear. This is cool.
Yeah, and so it's like I know there are multiple different versions of the Kabbalah and how that looks, and Ewing clearly has his own version of that he's pulling from. The tarot stuff, especially, is. I mean, I appreciate the way he writes the tarot stuff in all of this, in all of these books. I appreciate that he, as a storyteller, he knows like I need to include the interpretation. There's also just like some weird stuff there that interacts in a weird way. I think Beyond has some really good, like I could dig a little bit deeper into it because it's like a tour of the Kabbalah that run is. Versus this first run absolutely isn't really as much, right?
There are elements of it, like the
Yeah.
5 sides of the the 5 elements of magic and the crown, the cup, the wand, et cetera, right? But like the first one we're really reading it to get to the second one.
And I guess,
and also just because it's a good book.
Yeah, it's a great book. It relates to the other two. It's too closely related. You can't really separate it. Also, as I was reading the first volume, it felt like if that run got 10 issues, there's no Beyond, right? Like the 6th issue of Defenders, There Are No Rules, is not Beyond number 1. The whatever number of months long break they took between the two changed the plan. I mean, Doctor Strange died.
Yeah,
like stuff happened in universe that changed it too. But like. It's very interesting to look at that and also look at Beyond and see how fundamentally different it is as a book. And it feels like a dividing line in Ewing's work too, where it's, okay, this book is so attached to the actual literal plot elements of Ultimates. And then where Beyond has Brashear in it, has America in it, it still doesn't, like, Lifebringer, Galactus and stuff matter to Taya's stuff. But it is still feels like, okay, now we're really getting into redefining the Marvel cosmology around a different thing. And yeah, I mean, this first Avengers run just doesn't deal with that newer stuff in the same way, for sure.
I want to back up for a moment and return to the Grant Morrison comparison. I get why people would compare Ewing to Morrison, this idea of a super story, all these stories connecting together with cosmology, the interest in magic. And, those concepts matter to the writers, but I think they're superlative or superfluous, actually, in the context of a comic specifically. Where I do see the comparison having merit is in the collaboration style between Morrison and Quitely versus Ewing and Rodriguez. There's a lot of panel techniques I've seen here that I've seen Quitely use. The way that the panels are being arranged here are very similar to how Morrison worked with J.H. Williams 3 on Seven Soldiers. And Rodriguez does it just as well. Like to the point where I had to go back and I looked at the beginning. I was like, who's doing colors? And it's Rodriguez, because the colors here are a masterclass. But even more so, I love the fact that Rodriguez is simply credited as a storyteller rather than a penciler or a colorist. He does get credit for inks as well, but I like that. That is a very like 1960s Lee Kirby kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that kind of, it depends on the book. I think the Marvel's pretty good about the storytellers thing. But like with Wade and Somni are on a book, they're both credited as storytellers too. But I think that's an option that creative teams get at Marvel, especially where they're like, we can say, hey, we're both equally having an influence on the work. And yeah, I mean, it feels there's too many bad metaphors for the writer-artist relationship in comics, but it does feel like Rodriguez is a director here in a real way. It doesn't feel like somebody could tell him how to do some of these pages, basically, and he's just cooking.
And I have my criticisms. I have plenty of criticisms of Ewing and his scripting here, but like it never sours the book for me because Rodriguez has like 20 tricks on every page, you know, like there's a density to the art here. And I don't just mean like how many characters are on the page. Like, I mean, how many concepts he fits in a single panel, and then how the panels relate to each other as well. Like, that's really inspiring stuff.
Yeah. His art's sick. I love it. If I can, where this book, I think this read especially I liked Beyond a lot more, and part of it is because the Masquerader I think is really dumb. Like, I just don't care about the Masquerader stuff. It's a cool time loop thing, the Zoda Masquerader stuff turning into that, and the Marvel Comics 1000 and 1001 stuff being collected in the back of the trade is fine because it emphasizes the time loop narrative. I think
I didn't read that stuff.
That's fine. It absolutely wasn't necessary. But it jumps off from the point that the Masquerader keeps going and turns into his investigation. It also has a lot of dumb bullshit that doesn't matter at all to the Masquerader stuff. There's a couple cool comics in there. There's one by ACO that's really sweet toward the back end. That's it's a palindrome, but like not the way Watchmen is. It's the actual same event happening twice. It's cool. It's cool looking. But otherwise, I think the Masquerader stuff, like attaching it so deeply to this as the narrative, I liked it less. I didn't really care about it, at least. And yeah, I'm more interested in the cosmology stuff, so I guess as an explainer for Ultimates, you don't need the explainer really, but it's just this whole run about post Secret Wars, how many iterations of the Marvel Universe have there been, and this book takes you through those for the first time. You didn't need that explainer because you experienced the Marvel cosmos the way this book explained it. But that was kind of Ewing's theory of it previously, is that the universe ends and then a new one starts, and then it kind of got broken at the Secret Wars point because it was such a clean reboot. So I think that's part of why Ewing abandoned it, is because it was like, yeah, this is kind of weird as far as counting and everything goes.
I mean, I take that to read that Ewing wanted to make kind of an official company-wide logic to all of the continuity, and then it was made impossible by other writers or events. Then he took it upon himself to do this book in a way that he could make all those ideas come together, but it wouldn't necessarily contradict stuff that had come before. Is that the broad strokes of it?
Kind of.
Ultimates also had the, crossing over into other things that Agent of Asgard did, so.
Got it.
Yeah. Cool book. Definitely gorgeous, and I'm happy I own it. Do you guys have anything more you kind of want to cover for that one?
Or the first one? No, yeah. I mean, the idea of the eight cosmos, and like, even though it's not explicit, the idea of, the Atom Codman is still seen throughout the idea of the cosmos in Marvel cosmology, right? Like the idea of, creating each of these worlds and going through in an iterative fashion. There is, like, you're already starting to see that with the narrative in the story.
Definitely. Yeah. It does line up with his conception of the Kabbalah in the Marvel Universe as well. Just that, like, straight up things get simpler as they go up. And I mean, this, having Doctor Strange in your book obviously just gives a gateway to using magic in a very direct way. Words are magic. We learn new words. Stuff is cool. Ego death, obviously, that's huge in Kabbalah as you move up the tree too. So it has those connections, but it still feels like Ewing was a little tied to the idea of the eight cosmos. That is far more grounded just in his books. That isn't grounded in a separate theology. So with the next book, though, Beyond, he 100% dives fully into relating those two things together, basically planting the Marvel Universe on that tree. So Defenders Beyond. This
Wait,
is
hold on. I didn't get an answer.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Salt. Oh no, Salt's mad now.
I don't think I can get to Land's level. Land's level is like aspirational. I don't know how he sustains it.
I
Genuinely.
know. I gotta work on being angry.
You gotta flex those muscles.
Take some maca. Get mad.
Yeah. So, 3 quick notes. Never really figured out Cloud's deal. Like I do admire the lengths that are gone to include this gender fluid character. Never quite figured out what the powers were, why they were here, and for a book that is self-contained in a lot of ways, I felt like that was missing.
Mm-hmm.
That's my thoughts on Cloud. My thoughts on Red Harpy. I had never seen Red Harpy before. I thought it was a really sick design, but I realized with Red Harpy that this is kind of like an example of what I can see with a lot of other Ewing characters, Ewing books. Like he doesn't really know how to do the visceral. He doesn't know how to do the physical. Like Red Harpy is a character all about claws and teeth and like physical strikes. And that, like, she only uses the claws like once or twice in the book, right? Like I want to see some more like action from a character like that.
Well, good news, Salt. There's actually a book that you can read where she does exactly
fucking
that.
Crazy, Salt.
Is it Ewing?
Yes.
It's
Okay.
Immortal Hulk.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
I'm happy you picked up on both of those things though, because I think one of my main Defenders as a book is not, there's just not enough space for Ewing to do anything with the cast he assembles. Even if, you know, each issue kind of focuses on one person, I still there's not quite enough stuff there for these characters to do.
It's a book that's built on parables too, so
Yeah.
it's hard to do development when these characters
For sure.
exist as
For sure.
parables. Like, you know, Strange, even though he is the framing character for this mini, right? Like he exists in the role of the magician, in the role of he who has gone through ego death. And so yeah, like even with the stuff with Carlo Zoda, it's like it's a tightrope act between, you know, doing the narrative and talking about the concepts and actually like developing Zoda as a character. And, you know, not that we need to develop these characters, it's just that like at a certain point, it's a matter of priority, right? Like what do you want to prioritize? Do you want to prioritize the narrative as the key point here, and thus the characters are parables within that narrative? It's very mythological, right?
Yeah.
That's cool. Like I can really hang with a lot of that. But like with a lot of these characters, I see them and I go, okay, I get their powers, I get their deal. I wasn't there for me for Cloud.
Yeah. No, I get that. And I also do think I don't this isn't even really a criticism on the thing, or even this is more I don't know what this looks like if other choices were made, but I don't know that you needed a cast for this story really either. Like I get it. I understand that introductory idea of tarot reading to summon people is cool. Defenders as a book was a thing that was available to do. But like I think of Fall Sunrise, right? That's
Sunrise, yeah.
That's the more one. I think of that as a similar sort of counterpoint to this, and being like, yeah, I don't know, this could have maybe been a Doctor Strange mini that featured other characters.
I'm gonna push back. I think it did need to be that though.
Okay.
Like there's a whole issue in this book that deals with the idea of like them being each prong of the star, right? Like the whole thing, it's not that they needed to be a cast in terms of like the ensemble, like the classic ensemble that we think of, but in terms of, you know, the underlying narrative of this, I think it just would not have worked as well had it just been Strange.
So yeah, one of my criticisms is the 5-point stuff though, especially because it feels like form is what informed that. right? Ewing knew he was
Yeah, I
going
mean,
to get 5
form informed
issues.
the whole book, though, right? Like,
Sure,
yeah.
So like the 5 issues dictated the 5 points, which didn't really. Magic dictates the 5 points, right? But there's a lot of stuff in Kabbalah that isn't in 5s that he makes be in 5s. And so I also, that's one of my things that I don't think it's bad. And I also think there are different magical Kabbalistic methodologies that you can do the 5 thing and go 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Like there's a way to do it. And Ewing basically does it. But it's also, this is a story, and stories, when you write stories, you make choices. And like that was a choice, and that's one that I go, well, like to Salt's complaints, which are complaints I've had about this book in the past too. I think you could parallel park that differently, I guess. And like there's different ways to make sense of it that isn't just, well, I have a 5-issue mini, so 5, 5, 5s kind of. But this doesn't make me not like the book either. This is just me interrogating those choices and discussing them, you know?
Yeah, that's fair. And I don't mean to derail. I had a third thought, but it does not matter. Let's move on to Defenders 2.
Okay, Defenders 2.
Do we want to do the Venom interlude now, or do you want to do it in
I think
release
the
order?
Venom interlude makes sense after Beyond, mostly because they ascend up the Kabbalah. Like literally each issue is named the 5 steps up the center part of the Kabbalah. And Venom is the downward trek. So also Venom's probably going to be really quick. It's really just talking about the clip-out and how... and I mean... Yeah, I don't know. Do you want to? If you guys want to do Venom first, I'm fine with doing Venom first.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be quick, right?
Yeah.
Your call.
Let's do it after.
Okay.
Defenders 2, 2022, or Defenders Beyond 2022. This is basically Volume 2, but has a mostly different cast besides Taya. This book makes those Kabbalah parallels very direct. Each issue is named after a different Sephira on the middle pillar of the Kabbalah. So we start at Malkut and we head up to Keter. No, Keter.
Keter.
And yeah, it's sick. I think, yeah, this will be more of a dive into all this, but let's start with the tarot. The initial summoning ritual, it's basically the same across the two. You know, Doctor Strange passes his tarot deck on to Dr. Brashear or the Blue Marvel to continue the job of the first Avengers, except for there's a new great cosmic evil that Brashear is going to have to face. He doesn't want to, but the deck decides, summons the 5. This one's different. There's a couple of cool things about the tarot reading in this one that are different from the other. The other one were 5 distinct cards. This one, it's all 5s. So, and then it's being 5 cards. I like the implication here that there's a secret 5th suit. It's almost like the Marvel Universe has a 5th suit in the tarot deck that isn't the traditional ones. You know, the Tiger card is the 5 of Crowns, a card that doesn't exist. But one of the dumb things I rankled against with both of these books is that, like, there's not really a traditional 5-card tarot reading, especially in Kabbalah. It's 10. And so especially there's tarot cards that relate to each of the paths between the Sephira as well. And so I'm like, you could almost certainly come up with a 10-card reading that tells this story that happens in this comic. But instead it's just like, we'll do the 5 cards to summon the guys, and then they'll travel up the Kabbalah, which is fine. Again, telling stories is all about making decisions, and doing the 5-point thing is cool. But also, like, you could have done the world reading, you could have done temperance, you could have done more to read to tell the story, because that's all that a tarot reading is, really, right? It's 10 card that tells a story that the reader turns into a thing. So that was kind of my first note relating to both of these. Again, kind of going back to that, like it's cool. Again, I'm not. There's probably methodologies where you can do the 5-card thing and make sense of it. But that was kind of my first, I don't know, thought about all of this. But yeah, then as they ascend up, they go from bottom to top, which is cool. I like that they go through the middle pillar. Salt with what all do you know about the Kabbalah?
Not that much. I mean, I know that it's a part of like kind of like mystic Judaism. I know what the Kabbalah, like how it's traditionally depicted, and of course there are variations. And I've heard the argument that look of the Kabbalah, that traditional look, informed Jack Kirby's like cosmic aesthetic, which I find to be a compelling and fun argument. Yeah, other than that, I mean, I got really into like some what do you call it, like a hermeticism. Like I got into like the mysteries of Hermes and like a lot of that old stuff. I got into like chakras. So I am used to these ideas of like world trees and how you have levels of magic and physical being that build on each other. And I know that applies a little bit to the Kabbalah, but I can't really speak to specifics.
Yeah. No, that's right.
Are you going to illuminate me?
Yeah, I guess. Well, I mean, this book does a really good job of like the core metaphors of each Sephira they go through make just automatic sense, symbolic sense, right? Again, they travel through the middle pillar, which extremely cool choice because it's the only way that it could take 5. Any other direction up the tree is going to take at least 6. And so cool, you know, obviously symbolically already linking that thing. Even you look above it, it's like, oh yeah, this book was supposed to travel up the Sephira or whatever. And so Malkuth starting on the earth and traveling through obviously makes sense. Yesod, the sphere of dreams, field of creative imagination, makes sense to be the kind of beyonders area. Tiferet, the middle, this is kind of the meeting between the Godhead and everything below, that being the White Hot Room, being where Phoenix is. It's this place of creation, where human and divinity meet, sun gods and resurrection. Perfect. What's interesting about this book? Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Dot. No, Dot is extremely good. Do you know much about Dot?
I don't know any of these. That's
okay.
I'm sitting my secular ass down and listening.
Again, this is all from one source, right? So there's different methodologies of all of this, but Dot isn't always included on the tree in every methodology, and it hasn't always been. It's an empty spot on the tree that eventually philosophers filled in with something, because something was supposed to be there, because you look at the tree and you cover up Dot, and it's this weird spot that a Sephira should go, but it's not there. And it actually turns it into an 11 point, which is also weird. And so it's supposed to be this negative space of nothing that different philosophers, different magicians invented to be there, because it looks like it's supposed to be there. And so that's another one of the kind of cool things that Ewing does here. He's taking a particular magical methodology, especially because if you look at the cover to the last issue, it does have Dot there as like a real Sephira.
Yeah, it's like a void in the Phoenix's chest.
No, that's actually that's Tiferet. So it's the one, her face, Tea's face. That's where Dot is. And that's why you can even see like there's the 5 above, and then there's the 6 below. Like that's kind of how it was traditionally done, but he doesn't like cover up Dot. He makes it a core point of it, which is cool. Again, different magical methodology. I think there's a little bit there where the way he presents Dot is almost as a missed opportunity, which is typically that's actually like a Cliff Off version of a different Sephira. So there's a little bit of him massaging metaphor into place for Dot, I think. But the presentation there is also one of that's like he's presenting the cozy kind of story where everybody's happy as one of complete emptiness, which I really liked. So I came around on it. And yeah, ending in Kether, the crown of creation, where everything comes from, the freedom until all are free kind of thing, this perfect beginning and ending and full of possibilities. He takes the characters down from the bottom of Malkuth up through Kether on this imaginative journey. And it really is like a perfect tour of the Kabbalah. You know, they don't visit every single Sephira. They don't investigate the underside of it really, but it is very much just an adventure through it. And it's a really cool presentation of it. I think it's very grounded in a particular methodology of it, which is fine. But like it rules. Yeah, it's really cool. I don't know. I ended up annotating a bunch of it.
It's extremely ambitious, and you can argue that it mostly succeeds. So yeah, I respect someone trying to do that. But that said, I actually didn't enjoy this issue, Keigen. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's all right. Go for it. Wait, the whole trade?
Yeah, mostly I didn't like this one.
Okay. Let's do it.
I thought the art was more fun in the first one. Just like, you know, page layouts, panel relationships. I was vibing more with that. A big issue for me here is I do not like Blue Marvel.
Okay.
I found out Doctor Strange was dead, and I was like, no, bring back my guy. I don't know who this STEM dude is.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. It's the exact thing that I was expecting to happen.
This episode's playing out exactly how you.
This is
so
exactly.
funny.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
I don't like Blue Marvel. I don't like the Beyonders either. I think they're dorks.
Yeah.
So that's the point, though, is that they are dorks.
Yeah, but they're not like dorks that I can spend time with that like are funny. You know, like I want dorks that are either like I can laugh at or I can like watch them suffer. You know. And it never gave me something to latch onto in that sense. But I'm gonna 180 because I know my takes are just making Lan's skin crawl. He hates what I'm saying here. So I'm gonna 180 and ask a question.
Okay.
And tell me if I'm way off base here. Whereas the first Defenders, that first Defenders trade is in many ways a celebration of gender expression in the Marvel universe. 2 felt darker to me. And I felt like the way Loki's story ended here, it was Ewing mourning the lack of possibility for a gender bender Loki in the wider Marvel universe. Like it kind of felt like Ewing was saying, all right, I tried to make this character work, but I got to silo this character off in like my version of things because other creators aren't going to want to do this right. Am I way off base here, or was that just, or is there something to that?
You want to answer it, Lan?
I mean, it's just funny because the next person to touch Loki, well, like aside from the Thor run, would be Ewing himself.
Yeah.
Right. So like the end of this run is just him teeing himself up.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he's putting Loki back in for himself.
Yeah.
Got it.
So it's less of a other people are gonna touch this, thus I need to like, because that's what the end of the first Agents of Asgard like run was.
He also did that. Yeah.
So I guess now's a good time to pose the question back to you. Remember how you said you were going to read the rest of the run before this week?
Yeah, were you going to...
Me?
How you were going to finish Agent of Asgard?
You said that on call.
Well, then you said on call that you did finish it while we were talking. So
I did finish it while we were talking. I did actually. So I retroactively made good on a promise that I was wondering if I failed at.
Well, anyway, this book jumps right off of Loki steps out of the nothingness into the past and then into himself. That's basically like, if there is a narrative of Defenders Beyond, like the Zoda stuff, it's Loki going from point A to point B so that Ewing can keep writing them, I guess. Okay. All right. Yeah. So, but yeah, no, I think that reading is solid too, though. Like that sort of idea of Ewing going, well, I'm not going to have another chance at Loki. That is how this feels if he didn't get another chance at Loki. It does feel like, okay, I guess I'm just going to carve out this and say this always existed and they're always inside of him and whatever. But yeah, no.
I mean, maybe Ewing didn't know at the time that run was guaranteed.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I think he knew. Yeah. This is pretty close. This is pretty close to number one. So
I'm pretty sure this was around the time that Kate's got into the car crash too. So.
Damn.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. My shop owner hates Kate's so much. And it's really funny. It's really funny.
Do we want to go into your shop owner's thoughts on Kate's car accident?
No. He said he has some. Well, wait, I've told you this, right? Like,
I don't remember.
Some. I don't know. People whisper. I don't know. But it was in some like private shop Facebook or something like that. That people were like, the reason Kate's got into a car accident was because he was on a bender and he fell off the wagon and he was getting divorced and he was on drugs and he I don't know if he was driving, obviously, but that all happened. It was all culminating in this tragedy. And so my shop owner was just like, fuck him. I don't care.
Fuck. What?
It's crazy. It's wild, dude. Oh, shop owners get crazy in the Facebook groups. And yeah,
It's just like the Brooks Brothers riots all over again.
There's crazy stuff about Kate's in those groups too, where he's just like, he's just kind of a piece of shit, and nobody, like, anybody who knows what's going on in his life is, there's very few people who care at this point. I'm like, damn, what a saga. Just what a guy. Hard to know what I feel about Donald Cates. But anyway, his Loki sucked and his Thor sucked, and we'll see if Ewing's is better. Any other thoughts on Defenders Beyond, boys? Lan?
Yeah, we can do Venom.
Good stuff. Okay. Yeah, I think it's a bold move to go from Strange, who is this more like free-flowing, unrigid character as the
character.
Core. Sure, to a more like scientifically
boring.
Well, yeah, boring is the right word. Like he is supposed to be the more like it's the Ewing likes to deal with the idea of as above, so below, and in some ways, Strange to Bashir is that where the rationality, the unwillingness, the rigidity is part of what makes Bashir, and that's part of what is interesting about the dynamic change, right? Like having him be the core, or so the leader even, and also just having Strange be the one to pass that down onto him. A lot of this is going from the bottom up, but also there is like a side to side thing going on here.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm kind of a Doctor Strange hater, Salt. So this is a fun little pose of opposition in itself. Because most of the time I'm like, even one of my first notes I actually took was like, how many goddamn times can this guy suffer ego death? Like, shut the fuck up, Doctor Strange. Shut up. Just ego die already.
Here's my hot take that I think you're gonna like. Ready, Keigen?
Okay.
He is the Flash of the Marvel universe.
I'm okay
The
with that.
Flash just needs to run faster than he ever did before every time, and Doctor Strange needs to ego die harder.
That's really funny. Oh, that's really good. So, I don't love Brashear. I do like, because a lot of the times, and I curse Mark Waid's name for this, the reason characters can't understand magic in the Marvel universe is because they're too logical, right? Reed Richards famously, he can't figure out magic because it doesn't make sense. And I do kind of like Brashear just being like, yeah, whatever, man, I'm super smart, and also like magic works. That also, like, being a Chad is annoying and bad sometimes. Like, it's boring, and so he is too competent to a degree. But I also think that's, Ewing pulls that chord when he's like, I need somebody on a team who's overly competent that can smooth out wrinkles in the narrative. And so, I don't know, I'm fine with him. I've read a bunch of appearances and I'm like, okay, cool, Blue Marvel's here. But I understand he's not a very fun central character, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, it's a man of science trying to deal with cosmology, which is always an interesting dynamic to me.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
how do you deal with someone who is so stubborn about his like unwillingness to believe in God and higher power, and put him into like the most higher power adjacent situation? It's a good way to keep things fresh between the volumes, I think, but you know, it's not gonna hit for everyone.
Yeah.
All right, let's do these Venoms, because I want to hear Lan's thoughts.
Yeah, two Venom issues.
Remember when Keigen mentioned earlier the 2 screenshots? The second one, I should honestly kill you for making us read this for this episode. That was in reference to these 2 issues.
To these, which again, these are completely directly related. So I don't even. How are you confused about this?
It's not the confusion. It's just the.
If anything, Resurrection of Magneto should be the beef.
Oh no, that's the one I actually like. Okay. Even deeper than this. So we'll get to that.
Okay, because I have beef with myself for Resurrection of Magneto, but that's okay. We'll get to it.
Good. Okay. Good.
I'll agree with you on that one. This one makes sense, though.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but at the same time, like all the stuff with the clip-off, it's like Immortal Thor has already done all of this. Like, the as above, so below element, the idea of there being kings in white, you know, like that's the whole thing with the parallels between the Sephiroth and the clip-off. Like, I get it, but at the same time, it doesn't. It's not something that I haven't seen done else. The other aspect is, the other element is, and I mentioned this in the chat. We've covered Venom for this show, like the Ewing, Romvey, Gronbeck, whoever else was on that book.
Gronbeck wasn't on it yet.
Yeah,
you're just not saying Hitch's name.
Yeah, just not saying Hitch's name. We covered the first 16 issues of that run.
So this is the next 2. It's perfect.
So you can listen to our thoughts on that and how we came out of that one. And so I was picking up that book largely because of momentum, and largely because of the same reasons that we went over in our Read Pal Zero episode, which you can listen to from a couple weeks ago. So these were the first 2 issues after I had stopped pulling the book. And so this is the first time I'm reading either of these issues. And yeah, I don't know. These just don't matter to me. That's really what it is. Like, in the context of the cosmology stuff, in the context of, more importantly, the Asgard stuff, right? Like the road to Immortal Thor, unless the Beyonders for some reason show up in there as well. Or some element of the Sephiroth show up, or in the Kabbalah in general, really show up there. I don't know. Good art, I guess.
Yeah. Salt, do you wanna offer anything?
Venom as magician is a weird pitch.
It's
not the weirdest. It's not the weirdest.
What's the weirdest?
There are so many different things that Venom's done. Venom is a cult thing. That's
normal. I actually think
Venom is
more,
Venom is rednecks. Venom as
That
redneck
makes
is
sense,
a
too.
whole city of
Venom as
rednecks.
magician is the weirdest.
Hold
think
on, the
Venom
redneck thing has legs.
Especially, this is such a nerdy ass smart boy magician concept too, right? It's not like Venom as stage magician. It's Venom as penetrating the mysteries of reality.
Yeah.
And that's what's weird.
Which, to be fair, Kate's did also do that. But Kate's also did it in
In a
the
dumb boy
context.
way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
In an idiot pre-brain damaged way.
I think this really proves that they got to do IQ tests for anyone pitching a Venom story. And
Only
if you
cops.
score too high,
Only cops can write Venom.
Yeah.
It's the same test.
It's the same like when you if you apply to become a Marine, it's like they won't take you if you have like a certain
Yeah, 'cause
amount
you
of
might not
college
listen.
education.
Yeah, it's perfect.
That's how Venom needs
All
to
we're
be.
saying is Pat Tillman. I'm not going to finish that sentence.
It's already if you don't go
If you know, you know.
The automatic association should be there by now.
May his memory be a
2025.
blessing.
Oh,
You're saying that's what happened to Kate. He got too close to the truth.
Whoever
got him.
Yeah, go tell your comic shop guy about that instead.
Whoever said
Goddamn.
Venom is stage magician, now I actually do want to see that.
That's
book.
funnier. That's a
Yeah,
Venom
yeah.
comic. Yeah. No, the thing about Venom and Resurrection of Magneto was I knew I was going to do Defenders and Agent of Asgard before I reread Immortal Thor, or whenever I reread things. Right, that was part of it because of the Loki of it all. Because you see him step through blah 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 whatever. But when I read Venom, like when I actually read it for the first time, I went, this needs to be filed away with that stuff too. Like this belongs with the Defender stuff at least, which means it belongs with the Loki stuff.
And the question is why?
The clip off. That's literally the whole thing.
That's
it's
literally the only reason.
Yeah, because it's so. As I was reading, right, I read when I said on a Tastemaker's grab bag that I read the Moon and Serpent Bumper Book of Magic. It meant I had just read it, which meant I read 25 issues of Immortal Thor without having read about the Kabbalah at all, right? And so I don't even know to what degree there's Kabbalistic stuff in Immortal Thor, but I assume there is because it starts off with
all this is
king.
going like this entire episode is going off an assumption, even though you've read all of Immortal Thor.
Well, I mean, I know what happens in it, and I know he starts as a king and he ends up in the grave, right? So if it's not a descension of the top of the tree down into the grave, then I don't know Al Ewing, like it's going to. I know Immortal Hulk did. So, and yeah, it is based off an assumption, but it's also, I think, a pretty educated assumption.
Yeah, Lan, what if Keigen's gambit pays off?
If it pays off, it pays off. But
what if I
Keigen
like
has
it?
read Immortal Thor. Is the thing that I need to get at here is like he's already read the 25 issues.
You have the tree. You have the tree too. You have Yggdrasil, which is also a whole part of Kabbalah. So it's like
It is.
It's definitely
but does he touch
there.
on that element of it?
I don't think he's going
touch
to.
on Yggdrasil as the Kabbalah.
It's going to change my
saying
read,
that
though.
like
And the fact that
Viking-
there's a 10 realms, like everything is teed up. Keigen,
Yeah.
you're right in that everything in the cosmology of Thor lore, mythology, is teed up to do the take of, the Sephiroth. And also not only that, but like as a parallel to Immortal Hulk, which is very deeply involved with the Qliphoth and the 10 realms there. Everything is there. The question for me is, does it actually come to fruition?
Yeah, I do think it will meaningfully change my read on things. I don't know that. Go ahead, Sal.
Okay, you two can debate this. I am an artist, and I want to bring this back to the art, if I may.
Beautiful.
I am
All
an
right.
artist from Israel, and this is my art.
I will dance again.
That
Okay.
was really mean. Normally you're aiming at me. I don't know why you had to do Salt like that.
It was the first thing that came to mind when he said that. You know, when he said, I am an artist, my mind filled in the rest there.
Dude, Lan, that reminds me. I wear this this baseball cap most days with a watermelon on it. And
okay,
most people don't say anything, or if anyone has ever said anything, it's like I get the nod and they're like, hell yeah, brother, right? I'm on the train yesterday. This is the first negativity I'd ever gotten to this hat.
Holy shit.
Damn, in 2025?
This guy is glaring at me for a whole minute, and I can't even figure out why. I don't even remember I'm wearing a hat, right? I'm like, what is with this? He's like this skinny ass, like just out of college guy. And then he like finally, like I'm just staring back at him. He finally looks down and he's like on his phone the rest of the time. And I have to walk past him to get off the train. And then I notice he's got this tiny little yellow ribbon clipped to his chest.
Mm.
It was like this dude is wearing the yellow ribbon in 2025, and he was just glaring at me for my watermelon hat. He didn't even.
Damn.
It was just weird. It was like the first time I'd ever received any pushback. Like I have a Palestine pin on my backpack, never gotten any activity for that. It was crazy.
Yeah, that's wild.
Damn.
Anyways, I could have. I think if I had breathed on him too hard, he would have fallen over. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't want to kill a guy for no reason, you know?
Anyways, art. I'm here to talk about art.
Art.
My art take is this. My art take is that rendering, you know, how you draw, and then the designs you come up with, like being a character designer, are separate but related skills, right? One doesn't necessarily follow the other, but they often do. Having read way too much of this bullshit Venom books we've read, I think it speaks immensely to this arc that like all these designs for alternate Venoms suck. Like I hate Bedlam so much. He's like Red Hulk is already we have Hulk at home, and then Bedlam is we have Red Hulk at home. Cafu, to his credit, makes the character look cooler here, but I still hate this design so much. What Cafu does do well is I love this Darkoth Death Demon dude. He's like if an 80s Marvel Comics artist got his hands on Dragon Ball manga and had to like draw a villain based on that. That character was a breath of fresh air. That was tight.
Well, good news, Salt. Let me just double check the year specifically. You're a bit off just by a decade. Debuted in 1973.
Oh, Darkoth?
Yeah.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know what his original design was.
And you don't need to, like, it's fine.
Yeah, don't even worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Anyways, I'm glad we didn't have to read Hitch. Oh yeah, this version is, I mean the old version is fine, but this version is really cool. Anyway, thank God I didn't have to look at any more Hitch art.
Yeah, he's seen better. When Nolan inks him, it looks good, but I don't think anybody's paying for Nolan to ink Hitch when Hitch will ink himself.
Well, no, he's got what's his face?
Oh, yeah.
Curry's
it's bad.
his usual inker. Yeah,
I forgot. Yeah, bad. Yeah, I mean, look, you can argue that this doesn't fit into Immortal Thor, and that's fine. But I think on this basically skip list version of getting Ewing's cosmology in front of our beautiful listeners, this is a good epilogue to Defenders Beyond that dives into,
I don't think so,
the underside of the Kabbalah.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't think it does.
Just kidding.
I don't think this book
Tell him. That's the best defense.
Yeah, honestly, it's the best defense.
I want to hear it. These two issues aren't super good, but I do like the clip off stuff. I like the reframing Venom as he's using dead bodies to do his powers. Like that's kind of sick. But
yeah, I mean, like there's a lot of cool concepts here.
Fun.
Yeah, like there's a lot of cool concepts in here, but also knowing what I know about this run, the next time we're gonna see any of this actually come to fruition is like
It's
10
like
issues
issue
down the line when
75.
Ewing actually gets the chance to actually write the character again.
No. Yeah.
Or in
Yeah,
another
that's why-
book entirely.
But you
They
know
should
what?
just-
If I was a gay guy, this book would have hit so hard. There's so much shirtless bear action in here. Like, if you're
It's
a gay
true.
guy, like
He
this,
gets-
this rocks.
The next issue, he gets an extremely tight shirt and he just beats up guys like biker gang style, which is pretty
that's
cool too.
right.
Yeah, this is the only good part of the run. There's maybe like 4 good issues total, but whatever, Len. Let's move on to
It's
Resurrection.
okay.
of
I'm
Magneto.
sure all new Venom is good because I know Gomez does like to draw people with nice asses.
It's true,
So
and it's Mary Jane. He likes
Yeah,
to draw
but-
Mary Jane with a nice ass.
Keegan, I'm sure you'll find a way to get us to read all new Venom as a part
have
of some
not-
other cosmology.
I
shit.
have not read a single issue, and I don't really have
I
any
haven't
interest in
either.
reading it.
I haven't
And
either,
so-
but who
but
knows?
that's-
Maybe the clip shows up in the 5th issue, and we just didn't know it.
Me having no interest in reading a thing also means I'm far more likely to read it for some bullshit. So, because I'm like, I'm not going to read this for fun. So I find an excuse to read the dumb bullshit. Which brings us to Resurrection of Magneto.
Yeah, so this is the one. So the other one, it was Confusion. The other one was Confusion. This is the one where it really like set
Yeah,
in for me. Like,
I get you.
yeah,
The first issue is the only part that has anything to do with what I wanted. And then
I knew the
there's
second
tarot
that
stuff.
Yep, the second
There's
we
tarot
got away
stuff
from
and the
that.
rest of it. There's tarot stuff, peppered throughout that has some meaning.
There is, yeah.
But like, really, it's the main thing here is thematically Ewing was fix-it-ficking Magneto to be able to be whatever anybody wanted him to be, and
It's
doing
also
so through his and he did so through his theory of cosmology and the Kabbalah, like that. He did all of that, but it's so character focused. It had nothing. Yeah, I'm sorry.
yeah, his spirituality isn't like a huge part of this at all. Like there, like you said,
like-
there are elements of the tarot and the Kabbalah
Yeah.
early on, but like for a Jewish character like Magneto, it surprisingly goes not too deep into elements of Judaism.
I don't know. I don't know that I'd agree with that. I mean, no, it didn't get into Judaism, but also the Kabbalah is Jewish.
It's Judaism, yeah. It is
So-
like inherently, but like I'm talking like in terms of reading 4 issues instead of just the first issue.
Yeah, no, that was my bad. I definitely filed this in with everything. I probably if I
You
went
saw one
with a
diagram and you're
fine-tooth-
like, okay, I gotta put
no,
this
because
in.
I had read this whole book. And this is how Immortal Thor could go. it's possible where I like remembered a particular thing, because even the file I have is Immortal Thor and Defenders nonsense. At some point it was Immortal Thor and Ewing bullshit was what it was. And so Resurrection of Magneto filed into it under Ewing bullshit. And then I just forgot. And I also, I mean, it is literally a journey into a spiritual realm to metaphysically change yourself as a person. So it's not related. It's just also so character driven versus Defenders, both of those, which is it's cosmology focused, right? It's about explaining the universe,
but
it's
there
explaining
are, like,
why the universe
there's some
can change
pretty
people.
big swings it takes at the idea of resurrection and rebirth, especially in the second volume.
Yeah.
And I guess it's a similar thing that I had with Venom, is like all the things that it does has been done somewhere else that I've already read, or even we as a collective we've read already. So in the sense is like, what does this do
In a
that
skip list.
Defenders Beyond doesn't do?
No, yeah, this didn't really belong. But I also, I understand
it's a great
why I
opportunity
thought
to
it
talk
did.
about. Yeah, like it's a great opportunity to talk about Luciano Vecchio's growth as an artist.
It's true.
Like, I remember I read the first. I didn't pick this up as it came out, but I was reading the first 2 or 3 issues. I never finished this.
Okay.
Yeah, no. So that last issue was completely new to me. But I do remember saying at the time that like
I read 3.
Yeah.
I read 75% of a 4
didn't feel like
issue
doing the
mini.
last one. I thought I was like, all good. I'm good.
That's funny.
Yeah, I remember saying at the time I didn't know that Luciano Vecchio had that dog in him. That was like my premier comment about this book, because it's true. Like this is Vecchio or Vecchio.
The first time,
I guess.
first time I've ever liked his work.
Oh well, that's a pretty simple way of putting it.
Yeah.
It's I was astounded that he was capable of doing the art that he does in this book, just with what I had experienced of his work prior. But like, yeah, like I just was not expecting this out of Vecchio at all.
Yeah, I will say I was much more impressed the first time I read it. I think reading this after Rodriguez, I don't know that it hurt it, but I also, the thing is too, reading this after I've reread Fall Sunrise a couple times. Vecchio was somebody who I said was a diet Tradmore for a long time, and a bad diet Tradmore, right? But this time I saw a lot more J. Scott Campbell in it. And it made me go like, ooh, I don't want to see comparison. I don't want to feel a comparison to Campbell ever.
I think the only place where that really hit was when we got nude Magneto at the end of the 3rd issue.
Yeah.
That was the one where I'm like, I've seen this, like I've felt this before.
Yeah, a lot of the
else.
leg and body anatomy. Storm's body is very J. Scott Campbell, I think. And it's funny because there's not a huge difference between how Tradmore would proportion Storm and how J. Scott Campbell would proportion Storm. But one's good and one's bad. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. And so I think there's just a line there where Vecchio much better than I've ever seen him. He's did good work here. But on a reread, I was less impressed. Which is fine. Yeah. Most importantly, though, Salt, what's up with this book, dog? I want to hear you bark about this book.
This is one of those things that I
this is for
see
you
from a mile away.
Yeah,
I could see how this plays out.
well, you all heard my groan at the very top.
Yeah.
So, before I go off, let's hear Lan say what I was going to say.
Yeah, that's actually really
you
fun.
gotta say it. Like you gotta say it because I
No, I want to
this
hear
is an
Lan first.
episode about. This is an episode about magic. Like I genuinely love magic. So if you like read my mind, I'll be really happy.
Yeah, I know. You're probably gonna say some nice things about the art, somewhere here and there. But the main thing is the what's the word? Unimpeachability. No, it's
reader.
It's just reader hostile. That's the word. That's the first comment, because I know the second anything from outside this book
was mentioned,
Salt is going to curl up into a ball and go
off.
completely catatonic.
But
it's like spraying a cat with water.
You know what? I will. You know what, though, Salt? Were you excited when you saw Dr. Brashear show up and doing the same thing he was doing at the end of Defenders Beyond? Look, you got that beautiful interconnectedness. You knew what was going on.
Well, let's say this. Lan nailed it. Good job, Lan. I'm really happy. I like magic. But my first note was actually, I don't believe I've ever met a brother named Craig. That seems relevant.
You know, it's his experience.
It's anecdotal. I'm sure it's happened.
His experience.
I'm trying to think of any Craigs.
An avid
that
elementary kid named Craig.
It was a choice. Is all I can say.
Black guys
named Storm's lover
Craig. Lan just got added to
Craig Robinson.
Database.
Craig Robinson. Come on.
Salt did say meet. He's never met.
I said met.
I've never met Craig Robinson. Have you met Craig David?
Craig Robinson's great, though. I don't know who Craig David is.
I don't know either. It's just a name that popped up.
Yeah.
Pop singer.
Craig is an
apparently.
interesting choice.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
I
looking
mean-
at the list of famous Craigs, and there are very few black people on this list.
It wasn't
Yeah.
even a criticism, you know. It's like
Caucasian.
I haven't noticed it. So it's Ewing surprises you in lots of ways.
Yeah, that British
Yeah.
sensibility, you know, that British
Now, Lan,
British
British
sensibility.
Hold on, let
Man,
me
did-
search up Craig. Who created Craig?
It was Ewing. It was an X-Men Red, right? Oh my God! What
Was
if he
it?
found
Was
Craig?
it?
What if he found Craig from somebody
yeah, that's
else?
what I'm thinking. Is like
Oh my! He was already a NASA. He was already a space guy.
NASA
I don't know his last name.
creator
though.
is.
Lan,
Oh
did you
no, it
see-
was an X-Men Red. Okay.
Did you see that note coming, Lan?
I sensed it. I knew you were gonna say something about race. There was always gonna be something about race.
All right.
Always gonna be something about race.
I'll cap everything off with one generalized statement: is every time someone's put an X-Men book in front of me, I've not been able to get into it. Like I have a knowledge somewhere between cursory and way too obsessive of lots of different American superheroes. X-Men is still the one corner of it that has never clicked with me, and I don't think it ever will, and I don't know what that is, but this book certainly did nothing to remedy that.
Yeah,
I
X-Men
sensed
sucks.
that this
That's
would
what
be
you should
torture
say,
for you.
Salt.
Oh,
You should
this
say
was
X-Men
like
sucks.
chewing gravel. This was torture.
Yes.
Yeah,
I was reading the recap page at the start, and like my I did the wet cat thing.
Yeah.
You talked about.
Yeah.
It was like when you try to learn a language, and then you're like, I'm on the second chapter, and I'm picking this shit up pretty fast. I should just skip to chapter 28, and then you start reading the text there, and you're like, I'm actually not as gifted at German as I thought. Like that's how reading that recap was. This was so painful. I
Like, the
actually had to
fact that
restart
it-
this book multiple times, and I never made it past page 28.
like the fact that this is what year 4 or 5 of a
Of
5.
Krakoa.
Yeah, of Krakoa, and you had Salt come in at the 5th year,
Hey, maybe it
I
makes
hate it
sense.
so
I don't know.
much.
all for one issue. By the way, all for one
I
issue.
love reading things out of order also. So I'm like, what's wrong with you, Salt? That's my response. But I'm just kidding.
Fair.
I'm just kidding. No,
There's a
fuck you
lot that needs
too.
to be answered there.
This one was, I knew this was going to be torture. I teed you up. I said Resurrection of Magneto is going to be terrible for Salt. Yeah, I don't know. Even my notes I took a good amount of notes on trying to make it make sense. But yeah, I mean, it's the only real connection to Ewing's Marvel theory of the Kabbalah is that like he keeps taking these not really villains anymore, but used to be villains characters and running them through the spiritual aspect of the Kabbalah to make them into something that could be heroic. And I mean, that's what this book is about. But yeah, it's just the cosmology focus just wasn't there. Here it was so focused on Magneto as a character, which I mean, I think is a good character study. I think it's a good send off for Ewing from the X-Men books, hopefully forever, because why would you ever want to write the X-Men?
Why would you ever want to
there
come
is
back? Hey, Hickman, Duggan. Why would you want to come back?
Why would you come back, Gillen? Why would you do that? Don't do it a third time.
That is I was talking about the influence of anime on some of this stuff, and that is a 21st century Western superhero trend. It's like before the turn of the century, like it was very rare in superhero comics for villains to permanently turn and like become heroes, like get proper redemption arcs in Western superheroes works. I see that as an anime influence. Like a lot of shonen style anime have villains getting proper redemption arcs and becoming heroes themselves. And yeah, I can now see that in stuff like Marvel and DC comics.
It's just funny you're saying that about the character who had one of the most like public face turns of the 80s.
And then heel turns again. right?
He does, but that's the whole thing with any soap opera thing, and that's what Ewing gets into as well, as like the idea of like resetting and going back to the status quo and resetting. But in Magneto's case, he is like the biggest case of a villain face turning before the 21st century.
Yeah.
I don't read X-Men though, so that's okay.
Wait, have you read New X-Men though?
I
Morrison.
tried to read that.
Okay.
I probably got a few issues, and that was that's the Grant Morrison one.
Yeah.
I thought it was a little more accessible.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know what? I'm comfortable. I'm in the camp of X-Men suck. Creators go to the X-Men to make their worst stuff.
And you will go to hell for make us reading this. So
all right, you know what? Bring it.
Any penance will not be delivered in this lifetime, and that's fine.
Bring it on, Clipot. I'm gonna be fine. My boy Venom. I made some people read his stuff. He's my king in black. He'll take care of me there. I'll hang out with Hulk.
You get down there and you just see Eddie Brock waiting for you, and he's like, "Hey man, thanks for having my back up there."
And he's gonna use my dead body. He's gonna use my dead body to supply his abilities. I do apologize for Resurrection of Magneto, but not that much, because it was only 4 issues, and Salt only read 28 of the pages, so it really wasn't.
I read those 28 like 3 or 4 times, so that's the equivalent of reading the whole book.
You just gotta move on.
Only read the first issue?
You just gotta move on.
Where did
you
I
only read the
tap
first
out?
issue? Where did you tap out? Actually, that's a good question.
I guess I will say, while you guys are looking at that, I also can't really even make heads or tails of the like one thing that does connect to the Kabbalah in that first entry double page spread.
Like, that's what I'm saying. It is the diagram. You see the diagram, but I feel like aside from that, a lot of that is like there is an element of spirituality here, but it isn't tied to the Kabbalah as nearly.
It's like
as,
Ewing threw that stuff there. He threw the colors of the Sephira, not even in any meaningful order either. He threw them up in the sky, and he put the symbols that relate to each one of them, but it's not in any meaningful way. It's literally just to link it to Kabbalah, I think.
I tapped out when Storm was having a debate with her ancestor. That was around the high 20s.
I get that.
Okay, so near the end, yeah.
I get why you would bounce there, though. Yeah.
More race stuff, I imagine.
Yeah.
I think it was when they started showing the flashback panels behind Storm, and then she started talking about Magneto being her friend. It just the weight of the continuity became too heavy for me.
Yeah, I get that.
I don't know. There's a lot you can point at about this being an impregnable book, but I feel like the 4 panels, that is like grade school stuff, man. Like, that is just a quick, like,
Lan,
I don't know why that has to be the straw.
You gotta pass this to somebody who like doesn't read comics. Like,
I would, but I feel like of all the things in this book that would be unintelligible to someone that hasn't read X-Men comics before, those 4 panels showing the progression of their relationship, that is like the easiest thing to understand.
No, it does. No,
they were once adversaries.
Panel, she is saying that I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah.
In the second panel, she's like, "Ah, buddy, you're so cynical." Like that doesn't make it.
I mean, yeah, history happened. Like, it's
like
the enemies to friends thing. Like,
it's changed. Yeah,
it's changed. The relationship changed, and the whole thing is about how she sees the relationship. And the thing is that the relationship has changed. Ergo, you have to show the moments between.
You gotta read everything on the page, and then you have to read the whole page. It's too.
Right. This is too much. I'm putting my foot down. I am never reading an X-Men thing again.
You
for
don't
this
need
podcast.
to. Is what I'm saying. You don't need to. You do
That's
not
what
need
I wanted.
to.
This is a very productive. This is a very productive episode, I think.
Congratulations, guys!
We
I'm
can say
never
no
touching
to X-Men comics.
again.
Fuck Cerebro. We're done.
I don't know what any of this stuff is, and I'm
just
permanently
Xavier's
deleting
helmet.
it
Don't
from
worry.
my brain.
Oh, good.
But yeah,
good.
I don't know. I don't know how much of that page is a reflection on X-Men comics versus your own reading ability. Salt is what I'm getting at.
Hey, okay.
I'm saying if
He
you
put
have a
his foot down.
character,
He put his foot down.
yeah, you're right. I'm not lifting my foot.
Anyway, dear listener,
Like I do not want to have to be the devil's advocate for X-Men
you're
comics.
defending this
but
book.
is
It's the
not what
You know
funniest
what?
thing.
You can say I'm a dumb guy. That's fine. I'm always saying that on this podcast. I'm not going to push back against that. I've still won. I'm not going to read an X-Men book.
Yeah,
My day is already better.
that's good. My day's better too. I'm nothing. It's all up from here.
This is good. We needed this.
We
needed this moment to like tell the audience where we stand on things.
Yeah.
Especially nowadays where it's really hard to get a grasp of where people stand on things. We need to stand on business.
Yeah.
And make it clear.
We're grounded deeply in Malkuth right now, and we are part of this earth. And we are
ego
saying
dying
no.
harder.
We're
We will
ego
ascend to
dying.
Keter by the end of this
We're
Thor
ascending.
thing.
Or we might descend, he ends up in the grave, so
That's true.
we could
Spoilers,
we could
but,
fall down the
it's
tree.
true.
Well, what is that? What does the grave really mean, right? Venom was in the grave just a few
I guess that's
just a
what
few
the whole
minutes
thing's
ago.
about. I guess that's the overarching thing's about. What does it mean to die?
So, dear listeners, as we have alluded to, we will be doing Immortal Thor next. All 26 issues. I think it's 26. I have those two one-shots. I don't think we're reading the one-shots. I don't think we're reading those other
Wait,
one-shots.
there's 2 one-shots?
There's actually 3, I believe. There's an annual. There's a giant
Does the
size.
annual actually connect? Like, do the annual and the giant size actually connect to the narrative?
The giant
Do they matter?
size. I'm gonna ask Salt. Salt is gonna decide on this. We're taking the annual out for sure. I don't think the annual matters. It has like a Prince of Power thing that
Yeah,
is-
because I thought the
it would
annual was
be
just
really
like
funny.
whatever
be
Derek
really
Landy
funny.
thing,
It'd be really funny to make Salt read a book where the main point of connection is Prince of Power, who has been in all of the comics that Ewing didn't, all the comics that Ewing wrote that we didn't read. So I don't think we'll do that. But Salt, do you care about Hercules enough to read an issue where Hercules and Thor do some cool stuff?
I don't know
Who's the
anything
art by?
about Hercules other than, and we're talking about Marvel Hercules here.
I'm talking
I
about
don't know-
Hercules in general, but in either way.
No, I know a lot about mythical Hercules. All right, this is my struggle.
You're putting your
with-
foot down again, but this time on the side of Hercules.
But what if Ewing makes a really good Hercules, though?
Oh no, I wasn't saying anything judgmental. I was just saying I don't know anything about Hercules other than the fact that he's gay. Everyone always talks about the fact that he's gay. That's all I got
Yeah,
about him.
okay. That's all you
Yeah.
really need to know.
Here's the thing, guys. He's not an X-Man. I am willing to read anything that does not involve X-Men.
Okay, who's the artist though?
I'm looking right now because Baldione does the annual. Oh, it's Brian
Right.
Level.
Ryan Level, friend of the
Wait.
podcast. Friend of the podcast.
I really like
Yeah.
how friend of the podcast has completely opposite meanings based on context.
It's,
I mean,
it's,
he's part of El Camino.
So a friend of
Okay.
the podcast.
Friend
Okay.
of friend of the podcast.
here's what I'm going to tell you.
Brian, come onto the show.
Salt.
We can
We can talk about your Thor comic, your Thor Hercules comic. Salt, this is what I'm going to tell you. If you see a footnote and it says read Thor annual, and you feel
You know I'm not going to
like
do
you
that.
want to do it, if you feel
But
like
you know I won't.
Okay, but it's available.
Okay.
It's gonna be there. And if you look at it and you go, I'm gonna skip that, you can skip it. I'm leaving it 100% up to you. I may read them, I may not, I may peruse them, I don't know. But you let
Wait,
us know.
so
if
are
you
we
read
reading
them.
Hercules in addition to this
It's
third
one
chunk
issue.
of Thor stuff we're
It's
reading?
one issue. It's one issue. It's numbered. It's down after the third.
That's
trade.
fine. That's fine. I only sound like I'm complaining. I'm just trying to understand.
It's a giant sized Thor issue that hasn't been collected in anything yet.
Okay,
And
just
likely
put it
won't
in-
be until the end.
Yeah, Keigen, just make sure you put numbers next to the.
I think they are.
in
I think they're numbered.
the document that you are mailing me legally.
Yes.
Oh, damn it. It's not on my
In the reading order that you're giving him, that is just a
Yes.
list of strings.
Exactly. For that he's going to read on Marvel Unlimited, not anybody else's account, his own.
Yes.
I'm gonna check and make sure it's because I numbered it. Yeah. Okay. So it's number 4 and 5 in the drive. Number 4 and 5. They are referenced. I don't think anything important happens in them. They will be talked about in the other issues and trades. You are going to choose if you read them.
This is the annual you're talking about?
Annual and Giant Size Thor 1.
Okay. And then Roxxon Presents Thor is the...
That's embedded. That's actually in one of the collections. That's in one of the collections because it's incredibly important. It's actually essential to understanding things. So that'll be in there in its correct spot. That's not separate. So we will be reading Immortal Thor by Al Ewing and friends, and at least one person I would consider Lan's enemy. Not for any personal reason though. Just we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it next time.
We'll talk about it.
But we're not doing that next week because next week we're doing a very special Godzilla episode with Sophie Campbell. So, be excited about that. I'm going to watch more Godzilla than I've ever watched in my life in the next week to be ready for that because I've watched very little Godzilla. So be excited for that. And then Immortal Thor will be in, the following week. And that also gives us 2 weeks. It gives us 2 weeks, you procrastinators, to read the entirety of Immortal Thor. So
you're saying is the night before is when I should start.
That's what you are going to do.
Single, yeah.
That's what you're going to do. Yeah. And I understand that. And you're probably going to finish it Saturday morning because that's what you tend to do. What I'm saying is maybe your experience would be slightly better if you gave yourself more time to read things. Okay. You don't have to scarf down all the things you consume. All right.
Hey man, I understood. Like I read all those issues of Defender. Oh, I read them all already before, but I read Resurrection of Magneto for the first time.
You know what? At least 13 of these issues are going to be new to you though. So maybe you should take that into consideration this time. Okay.
Those 13 issues are sitting on my desk right next to me right now.
Yeah. Because you paid for them. Good chump.
Yeah. That's the real, end point, is that this is an end point to
you buying
my read pile. Read pile 0 is really the starting point.
Yeah, this is secretly episode 3 of Read Pile. It's true.
Yeah, we've
or it's actually like 0.8 and 0.9 because technically none of this was in your read file.
Yeah. Well, at one point there were Defenders I picked up. Both Defenders run I picked up in single issues. And Resurrection of Magneto I did not. So
no, I don't buy X-Men comics unless there's a really cool Russell Dodderman cover.
That's pretty awesome,
not all of
isn't
them. It's not every really cool Russell Dodderman cover though. I did buy his Marvel swimsuit cover. It's pretty good. Anyway, dear listeners, this is the end of this episode. I actually thought this episode was going to be much longer, so you're welcome. We gave you back.
Really? I thought it was going to be much shorter.
Time. Oh no. I thought it would. I thought it was going to be longer. And now that you're here, I know you're so happy. You're so full. You're so full of the wonderful energies of the peak of the Kabbalah that you're gonna go write a good review on the Apple podcast. I'm pretty sure Apple is most important for these sorts of things, for these algorithms. It's gonna be 5 stars, and you're gonna say this was an illuminating discussion that I listened to. Even if you've already reviewed it, you go ahead and do it again. You make a new account and do it again, and maybe a third time. I don't know, as many times as will fill your cup. Also, just join our Discord, hang out, talk to us. It's fun. Whatever. Sometimes Lan yells at me in public, and it's fine because I can just tell him.
I do not hurt him when we're alone, folks. Please.
It's only in public. It's only in public.
If Keigen gives you that impression, I do not do that.
But join the Discord, whatever. Join the conversation. That's what you're really doing. It's not just a Discord, it's the conversation. And of course, as always, you can join our Patreon, patreon.com/midnightgrappleranimals. You can also just go there and get free stuff. We have a show we're doing right now, a weekly show that started, Common Ride Along, where I am learning about Common Rider. I'm learning things. I'm being educated. Go there, add it to your RSS feed. now you have a new podcast you get to listen to. We just did a bonus episode. That one's going to cost you some money. That's $5. But all of our bonus episodes, you join up that tier, you get a ton of stuff. You get our first episode of our comic industry is fucked comic book draft. You get the first episode. Maybe if you join, there will be a second one, and then maybe we'll even record a third one day. Anything's possible on the Patreon. Anything is possible. Maybe the comic industry is fucked, as the fans are calling it, the Spider-Verse of Midnight Grappler Animals. That's possible too. We don't know yet. The future is unclear. We don't know when 2 or 3 come out. It's out of our hands right now. So join that though. Join it. It's $5 a month for a ton of stuff. If you want to communicate with us otherwise, the Gmail is midnightgrappleranimals@gmail.com. You can follow us on Blue Sky and stuff. That's down in the bottom, down in the description. And I think that's the spiel. So Lan and Salt, Tastemaker's grab bag. What's making you happy?
That's a good question. Not a lot these days.
Oh no.
I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding. I'm in a good place mentally. All right.
Some saying the best.
Yeah, I'll recommend one thing. Pretty simple. It's 2025 when we're recording this. 30 years ago, a show called Gundam Wing aired for the first time. And 30 years later, I decided to watch it for the first time. Good show. Insane show, even. Worth it. You can watch it on Gundam's official YouTube channel for free. At least until the whole thing, except for Endless Waltz. But Endless Waltz, the movie that comes after the show, apparently is getting a theatrical release later this year, at least in the US. Who knows if Canada's going to get this? Who knows if it's just going to be another Shin Kamen Rider situation all over again? We'll see. But if you want to watch the main show, all that's on YouTube until the people who run that channel decide to randomly take it off without warning anyone. So if you can, while you can, go watch it. It's insane. It's fun. It's good. It says a lot of things about war and the politics of it. And it's got some fantastic mech design. So Gundam Wing, that's my recommendation.
I've only seen Endless Waltz.
That makes sense.
And I was like 11, so I didn't understand any of it.
Yeah, that sounds about right for the time that it came out on Toonami, right? Yeah,
I watched it on Toonami.
Yeah. You're up, Salt.
I don't want to be a bummer. I had a really crazy week, and I don't know if I have anything for the grab bag.
I get you. Sometimes I'll be in that position and I'll just say something that I didn't like that much, and then I regret it, which is why I'm still holding the Invisibles above the bag. I didn't get around to it. I did not get around to the final volume of the Invisibles this week because I was also very busy.
I do want to do another Morrison episode someday.
Oh,
maybe we do Invisible.
I'm so down.
Maybe that's how we get Serge back onto the podcast.
It's a long ass book. It's taken me. It's 1,500 pages.
I also don't want to reread all of it.
It's so long.
Me neither. There's one of those things. Oh man.
And I don't think. I mean, you can break it down volume by volume, but the end of 2 so informed. It changes the whole view of 1, and I feel like there's no way that's not going to happen with 3. So it's really tough to do split up without talking about the future issues too. I think.
All right. So while I don't have anything proper for the grab bag today, I am going to share a funny thing about Invisibles. Did you read Super Gods?
I haven't. No, that's a real book.
There's a part in Super Gods where Grant Morrison says that they were watching The Matrix in movie theater, and they were going, "This is my book. This is the Invisibles."
Which go ahead.
Oh, they took my idea. What were you gonna say?
I've seen people say that, not even that jokingly either. They've said Grant Morrison's idea for the Invisibles was stolen from them and put on The Matrix, and I'm just like, that's crazy. What an insane perspective to have in life.
Yeah,
To be able to.
they claimed, and I'd heard the claim probably from other people that got it from them, that like the comics were on the set, but it's like there's a lot of stuff on sets that people bring in, and like if it's the Invisibles, it's like that is a fraction of a percent of like all the anime and Hong Kong martial arts movies that influenced that movie.
Yeah. No, I'm reading it and I'm going, I don't really see it at all. Maybe
there is stuff later, but it's still it's tenuous at best. All right. That was a good stalling from me. I'll just say my grab bag selection is Ultraman Omega. Is fun. Subu's killing it.
I thought you were gonna say the War of the Worlds movie that everyone's been watching.
No, yeah.
I cannot in good faith recommend that film. I'm not gonna recommend something to you that I have not finished. All right, if I turned it off, I can't recommend it.
I didn't know you turned
you know
it
what?
off.
I'll watch it ahead of
it.
I'll watch it ahead of our next episode. Then we'll see if
I'm gonna be really impressed if you finish it.
Oh, I always finish.
Oh,
I always finish.
Good for you, man.
I always finish.
That's
Good for
plan.
you.
I ain't leaving until I finish.
That's crazy. Oh. Okay.
All right.
I still have a backlog of things that I'm trying to figure out how to split it up, and I think I did. I'm going to recommend two things. One is the novel Moby Dick. I read Moby Dick for the first time in my life, and it's an extremely dudes rock book. It's dudes. It's dudes back to front to back. It's wailing and being insane, and I get it. I do get it. I get why people are insane about this book. I get why it is assigned reading and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. It's really long, so I get it. Also, though, the chapters are extremely short. There are some like 2-page chapters in this book. Really easy to just kind of whittle away at it. Fun book. Very, very. It feels nice. It feels nice having completed Moby Dick. And the other is a movie I finally watched. One that was on my watch list, and Lan referenced way over a year ago in I think the first episode of Sentimentality and Nostalgia. He talked about this when I was talking about stupid Jedi bullshit, and that is Perfect Days. Perfect Days.
Oh,
I finally watched it. It's so.
Oh wow!
What a good movie! What an excellent movie! Just like it was interacting weirdly with other things I'm reading, very, very communist focused stuff that I was just like thinking the whole time about what Perfect Days is as a thing. And it's just like, I wish when people talked about cozy stories that Perfect Days was the kind of thing that was included in that, but it never is, you know? And like, I get it. It's not what people would depict as a cozy film or whatever, but it just was like a great Sunday afternoon movie to watch. And I loved it. Yeah. Super good. So that's I'm dropping it in there. And that is it for me. That's my grab bag for this week. Thank you again for listening. You made it here to the end of this episode, and hopefully we made your whole week better. Okay, and just keep thinking about us, because we only exist if you're thinking about us.
And if we didn't come to a parking lot to fight us,
okay,
yeah, we'll make it worse if we don't make it better.
Yeah, meet us in the Red Lion. You know,
yeah,
that's where we'll be. But thank you for listening, and as always,
keep on grappling.
Keep on grappling.
Never takes two.
Never takes two.